actually retail in malls is actually, I think, the online shopping.
This is one of the reasons.
Nobody's going there anymore, and then.
But to quote Axel, I do remember you saying that you have a strong feeling that in the next few years people will shift off of the online and be more in the real life.
I believe it will come. I believe for everything which basically all the products you just search by price.
Yeah.
Let me explain. You want to have a Coca-Cola, for instance, right? You know what is a Coca-Cola. You know how it tastes, right?
Sure.
You know you like it.
Sure.
So you just go online, you search by price, done.
Yeah.
You have it 2-3 hours later, it's in your apartment, fine, right? Beef or whatever, right? I think for clothes, because there's such an oversupply on clothes from live streaming and so on, and the quality is bad and leads to return rates, and customers, they get stressed out because, like, for instance, my wife, for instance, she buys online, but she also invests a lot of time, right? So now she really says, I better go to the offline shop. At least I know what I have. I can touch the quality. I can, and the time investment is even less than looking online,
Sure.
right? And then if I use my discount smart and this and have a little bit of discussion with the salesperson, I almost get the same price, but the quality is okay.
Right.
And I believe this is really something. And then on the other side, you also need to see that a lot of brands, and especially in this kind of apparel, for instance, a lot of companies also suffer because the return rate becomes so high that the online business actually is unsustainable. So they also say, I better have an offline shop. Maybe my sales is not as high, but my return rate in offline is around 10%, 7 to 10%. Okay. But if I'm in online on ladies apparel, and here it comes, it's easily 80% return rate. Because the client says, I know I cannot trust the platform, so I rather prefer to buy maybe 2 different sizes, or 2 different colors, 3 of this and 2 of this to try on at home, and then they have a huge return rate, which actually kills then again not the online platform, but the online the company which is online basically, right? The platforms take big profits,
sure,
but the brand are the.
Yeah, and I think some of the companies starting already to take it very sloppy. Yeah. So the last orders I had on Taobao, there was something wrong coming around. Yeah. Really. Yeah. First of all, it never reaches because I was buying a bag for myself. Yeah. Sure. A backpack. Yeah. And the funny, I'm always stuffed lots of things in it. Yeah. So it's actually already worn out, and then so I'm eagerly waiting for this bag to arrive. Yeah. And then Taobao says it's already in the reception area. So I'm God, where's the bag? No one, nothing. Yeah. So I found out they recollected somewhere else downstairs in the road. Yeah. And I go a couple of times to pick it up from there. They never know where it is. And at the end of the day, I go with our secretary down there, and then the guy says, I know what you're looking for. This came, and but it's not. No. There was something else inside in the. Okay. I hardly know how to get it together in my mind. So I ordered I get parcel number 5 from I don't know, from Xinjiang. Yeah. But parcel number 5 was at the end not for me, but for somebody else in the same road with a different content or something. Yeah. Very fun. This happened to me twice now in the last.
You should buy from Pinduoduo, because in Pinduoduo the platform takes responsibility.
Okay. Yeah.
At Taobao, you are with the seller alone.
Okay.
At Pinduoduo, you talk to the platform deals with the seller. Much more safe.
Okay. Maybe I should be doing this. Yeah.
So you have more safety here.
I don't want to say that I'm new in this field, but on the other hand, I'm also not that young, and I also have the feeling, shopping is something you're doing offline normally, yeah. And one of the things. Sorry for interrupting. Why I had the feeling why there is so much online shopping here, and but also why they also like to have these commercial malls, is that the urban areas, they have not developed for a longer period of time. Sure. Don't you think so? If you're somewhere in Europe and you go to the main street, everything is there. Yeah. True. And every district has a main street, and you find everything there, yeah? In little shops which exist, I don't know. I was especially intrigued in Vienna, next to my school, about this tobacco shop, tobacco store, which was like established in 1813. Yeah,
So cool.
it's written there, and I said, "Wow, when Napoleon could have bought a pipe." yeah. So, yeah. But anyway, they're there for a long time. Everybody knows where they are, and the word passes around that the quality is good, and then yeah. So.
That's a good point.
You are right.
But and if I go out here, the place I'm living now, we discussed this before. If I'm going out in it, there's nothing there. Yeah? In the morning, there's a big traffic jam because there's so many people living there.
Sure.
And you can take the dog out and walk the dog. Yeah.
Sure.
Then the dog is actually in many places for dog pleasure. Yeah, I would say. Yeah. But for the people, there's nothing there. Yeah. And.
Maybe back to your point, I think the government tried to push too many things. I think they tried to push real estate, so with malls, office buildings and so on. At the same time, they pushed online.
Sure.
Not realizing soon enough that at one point both will bite each other, right? So both will, because the market is only that big, right? So you can't push both at the same time, right? So you need to have some priorities. And I think in the West, because they say, okay, we have summer sales and we have winter sales and we have some regulations, right, and this and this and this. I believe there are still some regulations in place, but if you're here online, there's sales every day, right? People even don't care anymore about 11/11 because, you know, like 10, 12 years ago, for 11/11, I still remember it has been a big event at the office. Like 1 week before, the people would say, "Oh, I put it in my basket and so on, right? And this, and people would talk with each other what they have found and what they put in the basket and where to find this discount and that discount." Now nobody cares because every day is 11/11 basically, right?
Yeah, there's so many discounts, especially on May 1 as well. You know, and you
Exactly.
get these all little 小红包. Right?
Yeah, exactly. If you're a new customer, you get a hongbao. If you're a frequent customer, you get a hongbao.
If you have a certain bank account with a certain bank, you get a discount.
You get a hongbao, exactly. Like when I want to buy something on Pinduoduo, for instance, my wife actually will buy it from me because she's a more frequent buyer, so she gets a different price than I get because she has a larger cycle of friends, right? So she get more discount for the same product from the same seller, right? It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I want to circle back to construction, if you don't mind,
please.
right? Because it is quite interesting. And as our viewership will be mainly from people outside of China, right? And I did ask you earlier. I mean, you both did kind of agree on that. Foreign investments and foreign companies are slowly moving out, right? And not much action in coming in again. But say someone does see potential, wants to do it, right? No matter of the risks. How would this person start when they come from Europe or the States? And what is something culturally or businessly completely different? What is harder and what is easier to do here in China when it comes to construction or on building up something?
On building of something, not necessarily a house or a building.
No,
maybe the building of a project, yeah?
Building of a project, correct.
Well, first of all, and that sounds pretty easy, you have to do your homework. You have to do your study, so you should actually find out whether you think there is a market, first of all, yeah? Whether the line of business you're going in is encouraged. I mean, for the time being, the majority of things are allowed and permitted, yeah. So I think they're not there are no restrictions on that, but it's interesting to know whether it's encouraged to get a special, because encouraged projects, as you said, they get better tax rates and after having done so, you would be setting out to find the right location. So you would compare a couple of, let's say it is industrial, you would be comparing a couple of business parks, yeah. There's so many around, yeah. You would be looking and you make those comparisons and you would see actually, it's not always the land price. It is also actually whether you have the right talent there, which is very important. Yeah? So you're going like back, you can find, you go into the hinterland, you find cheap land, but you don't have people are not sophisticated enough. Yeah? So then this is one of the factors you say, I can't be going there because I don't find anyone.
Right.
And of course, the supply situation. Everybody says like the supply situation in the area of where we are now, Jiangsu, no? Jiangsu is like perfect, yeah. No matter what you're looking for, within a couple of days you can find a supplier. And if they are not able to do it, they're willing to learn it. And if they're not able to speak English yet, they also learn it for this project because they immediately think in a long-term cooperation, and then they're just trying to find somebody who speaks English. Yeah? So I heard from many people actually that the supply landscape around here is already. They all say it's much better than in India, and many people say it's also much better than in Europe actually.
It's much better than India.
Than in Europe, yeah. In India as well, yeah.
Compared to India.
Yeah, this is one of the strongholds here that really. And I'm talking about industrial suppliers.
Right.
You have a factory and you need a certain kind of, I don't know, input material, some kind of acid or something. Yeah, you can find it here easily. Yeah, and like everything they said. Yeah. So supply situation is absolutely perfect here, but of course it's a matter you have to factor in. Yeah.
Sure.
You need all your you need the input materials. You would be staying within this region, yeah, and within this region, like everybody knows, the supply is good. Probably prices are a little bit higher. So you're making like this. Your decision would be based upon these factors, I think, yeah, not necessarily only about the price of land, yeah. I think so, yeah, and then you would like, okay, then you have to go to a business park if you want to make a factory, you have to be in a business park, yeah. So as said, you can't just buy a piece of land and start and make a factory there, yeah. No, you have to go into a business park. There are many factors which tie into that, yeah. Because first of all, you need industrial land, yeah.
Sure.
And in the zoning, the industrial land occurs in happens to be in the business park, yeah. So
maybe that's something what you could explain with the 3 different licenses and so on, right? For commercial, industrial, residential.
You mean in terms of zoning, yeah?
Yeah,
okay.
zoning.
One of the things actually, which you would not think of it actually, but just like back home, yeah, what we called the Raumordnung, no?
Okay.
Yeah, zoning. It exists in China as well, yeah, and it exists on many different layers. Township level, and it goes up to municipality level, provincial level, national level. There's also county level, yeah. Like always, there are plans on many levels, yeah, and there is the level, for example, for the land, yeah, which kind of land we are having in certain kind of places, yeah, and the big one is like, the big distinction is actually whether this is collective farmland or whether this is state-owned construction land.
Right.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, and state-owned means it belongs to the state, yeah, and state-owned is always construction land actually. Yeah, it's always construction land, yeah, and collectively land, you could say, by rule of thumb, is always farmland, yeah. It's by rule of thumb because the farmers have to live somewhere as well, yeah.
Sure.
they have the schools there, yeah? But okay, there are exceptions, but more or less that's the way it is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, state of construction, so you find the right piece of land, and there's this plan, yeah. Okay, and now within. This is like the first plan, is it state-owned construction land or is it the rural farmland? And within this plan there are further distinctions, yeah, in terms of zoning. So if you go to the city and they say it's already everything is state-owned construction land with a couple of exceptions.
Okay.
Interesting, if you go, for example, to Fengxian, for example, at Pudong, all of a sudden you're in the countryside and you see the farmers, yeah. Even so, this is within Shanghai, yeah.
Right.
But okay, those are exceptions. And now within the state-owned construction land area, then you have this other plan which says actually this is residential, and this is commercial, and this is industrial, and this is, I think they call it recreational, and this is for educational.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they make in this plan. Yeah.
Right.
And talking about educational, if you go this direction out, there is the accounting. The National Accounting School, yeah, a big one. Yeah, this is definitely educational. Yeah? We just passed by, and
so it's not just commercial; it's even more divided.
It's more divided, and Recreational, I think this is the area around the Tianshan Lake. It's probably recreational, yeah? Yeah. Many places around there. Recreational, everything which is touristic, they call recreational and everything.
So which basically
green and spa and healthy, yeah?
Only those kind of business just for the
Absolutely, yeah.
Only this kind of business can open this kind of area.
Correct, yeah. So if you have a tourist project, you go to the recreational and touristic, you need this kind of land. And for example, if I just want to open an office, I have to go to an office building around here in the Hongqiao CBD, and nobody else allows me to open my office. For example, if you have enough space at home, you can make your study there, yeah. But you're not allowed to make an office, yeah.
Yes, I know that.
Yeah,
but an office address has to be separate.
Correct. This is much stricter than, for example, in Europe, than where every residential building has a couple of law firms inside, and a couple of doctors, back home. And okay, now here it is really strict. Your office is for the office buildings, yeah, and correct. And this is how you. What else would it be having? Well, we are sitting now at the Hongqiao area, so I could imagine that 6 or 7 stories below it starts for still land for communication purposes or something. I don't know whether it exists because all roads actually belong to the government or something, or to the state. But yeah, the big things which you have to find out, because the big distinctions, the big lines. If you're industrial, you need industrial land, and if you're commercial, you have to go to commercial, And
I just have a question. So commercial also has residential land, right? So the commercial land has a box in it, and residential land is within that box.
I would say no.
Because you have residential with commercial. No, you have commercial with residential on top.
Yeah, that's the mixed use, I think.
No, but I mean, just say there's this piece of land here, there are factories here, and then there's a city here. What this land is considered as commercial, or is it considered as?
They make a mix up, I would say. Yeah. Okay, take it like this. The industrial is definitely outside a little bit. Yeah.
Sure.
Everybody drives by car to the factory in the morning. Yeah. So then you're moving in, and comes the residential area.
Yes.
And then from outside from the residential area is the commercial.
Okay. So.
And this can go actually plot by plot. Yeah.
Plot by plot. So there have been cases where say a construction company or a real estate company wants to buy farming land. You just previously made a distinction that there's the city and the factories, and then there's the farming land, and it's two completely separate because of maybe the soil and the land type, right? So if a company buys a large piece of land from a group of farmers or a single farmer, right? What I've heard is that the farmer then maybe gets a few apartments within a story of flats, right?
Correct.
But what does the construction, or how much does the construction have to invest or do to change the land type? That might be
okay. I know. Okay, you can apply for that. You would be applying for that if you say you have a very good project up your sleeve,
right?
And you would apply actually to say, and the way you do it is actually you would apply, dear government, they would like to have this piece of land.
Right.
It's farmland. Please requisition it. Yeah.
Okay.
Expropriate those people. Requisition the land. Okay. Transform it into state-owned construction land. Right. And then grant it out to me. That's the way how you do it.
Interesting.
Legally speaking, those are the steps.
A follow-up question to that. In Hong Kong, the real estate market is with the bidding when it comes to a plot of land, right? So a bunch of real estate companies, property developers, they all bid, and then the highest price wins this plot of land, and that's also why all the rents are so expensive there. Does it work similar to here, where there's a great piece of land, multiple people want it, and then they do a bidding war, and then whoever...
Yes.
It also
you always have to make a bidding here.
Okay.
Yeah. And
that was only
especially if it's for the land, So this is prescribed, actually. And what they would be saying is, requisition this piece, transform it into construction land, and then tender it out, and then, quote, unquote, in a way that I win it,
Interesting.
Yeah, but there has to be a tender. Always.
Always.
Yeah.
Wow. And a
And
minimum of 2 or 3 or 4 bidders, or just.
I think they're listing it somewhere in the real estate exchange
Okay.
center for us. It's not necessarily a tender like an auction, yeah, where everybody comes. This is obviously, but I think it's listed for a month or something, yeah, and then the highest one gets it.
So out of this auction story, who's the beneficial in the end? Because it's a people republic, right? So who's the beneficial?
The people. Yeah. No, but okay. You buy actually the land is requisitioned by the government. The government would be paying off the collective, I think, no? Yeah. Which is some that has a legal personality. And then I think the collective would be allocating its members based upon that money.
So in a village, it would be the village community.
I think
in
so,
Shanghai,
yeah.
it would be the state. So
Yeah,
this is what I mean, basically.
And then the government has now tendered it out, and then they're refinancing themselves by these tenders. Yeah,
Interesting.
I think that's the way that's the cascade which is working here. Yeah, and in terms of the allocation of the people in the old days, they always said developers have to take care of that. There's a different system now in play. I'm just wondering how it works, but I think now they are paid money. But in the old days, really, the developers, they had to make a plan. And I said the old days, I think it was about 2008, 2009. Developers were making a plan, and then they said, okay, guys, we're going to be kicking you out of there, and everybody gets 2 new apartments in one of my buildings.
This is another point why there's an oversupply of apartments in lower tier cities, especially in lower tier cities.
Yeah, but it's also a way to get good apartments for people who would never be able actually to do.
But I tell you one story, because it happened to the family of my wife, right? And then when basically it became known that this area will disappear, right?
They'll move there.
So
they'll move there.
The neighbors started, because everybody had their own house. So the neighbors then started to make some weird constructions, like to build additional floor or whatever to increase the square meter.
Correct,
right? In order to get more compensation.
True, yeah.
Not financially, because nobody wanted to pay, so everybody got then, instead of 3 apartments, maybe 4. And this leads to a situation that you have families where maybe, and I really don't over-accelerate because I know it out of experience, where maybe a family in the end has more than 10 apartments.
Sure.
Yeah, correct. And they're also following actually the expropriations, I think, yeah.
So imagine 10 apartments.
So you hear like
1 child or 2 child, and everybody has like 5 apartments, 10 apartments. What do you do with this?
That's right, yeah. And I heard actually the very moment, for example, in Shanghai, something is expropriated, they all go into the register. They try to change the house registration to this very area to be compensated, yeah.
Is it easy to do?
Yeah, possibly. I don't know. But this is, I forgot who told me this, from their own family. They said, yeah, now in our apartment we have about, 20 people registered. Yeah, they all kind of.
Yeah, you also have some projects I saw in Haining where basically a group of Shanghainese, because the local people told me, they basically, everybody's a small investor, so not rich people. So, and then like you have like 100 families maybe, they crowd invest, and then they buy almost a complete compound in a city like Haining.
Okay.
So like 100 investors buy, I just make it up, maybe 200 apartments in a tier 3 or 4 city, only for pure investment purpose.
Interesting.
So which leads to a situation, if the economy in such a city like Haining is going down, because a lot of factories close and this, complete compounds are basically empty.
That's right. And you have 10 apartments, you will not be able to rent them all out, yeah?
No way, yeah. So the rent actually is so low in many cities now that there's no return of investment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the situation. And so now let's say you found the location.
Yeah.
And we talked about a factory, so you got the business park, which the ideal one, yeah? Where you want to get your land use rights. Then you would start to negotiate with them, no? And they would say, guys, we have this project we came across. Your specific business park here, we think it's ideal. And we're gonna, we'll what kind of parcels are you still having there? What could we be having? Yeah, and then you would be making up a contract with them, an investment agreement. Yeah. And this investment agreement basically says, okay, I'm preparing to make a company here, and I'm investing so much money, and this is the project I'm going to be doing, and I need to land within that certain period of time. And you are also like agreeing on these and those benefits. Yeah. And this goes all into one agreement. And then you sign it.
You
and
just made that sound very easy, but is it really in reality that easy and quick, or does it take a bit longer?
It is actually pretty easy because in the majority of the cases, they were eager to have the investment. Okay. People were eager to go in. Yeah, I remember we always had in my old days when I just arrived, they were actually on a regular basis business partners coming to our office to present themselves and leaving the materials. Sure. And then there was a time there when nobody was coming, but then it's picking up again. Yeah? I think so. Yeah. So they also know there's kind of oversupply in terms of location. Meanwhile, yeah. So they really come out on their own initiative and show off, and they show you like what they have and why you should be going and playing. Vim was always one which was very active in terms of marketing, and then what's this called in? I forgot the name. It is outside Jinshan, where you just enter Zhejiang. They also have a very big park there. Forgot the name, but it's really the outskirts of Shanghai.
Yeah, Morganshan?
No, it's not that far. It is really there's this place which is called Jinshan in Shanghai. Okay. Pretty actually close to the sea and super close to the Zhejiang border. Yeah.
By the way, okay.
Yeah, it's and I forgot that there's also a business park. The Pinghu Development Park. Yeah, they were super active always, and they came often around and showed us like what they're having and what kind of schools they're having.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's what I want to say. That's the problem what I have, because also 3 local governments reached out to me, for instance, last year, right? And they invite you to their industrial park, right? Because they think you're a foreigner and you do something with brands, or maybe you can introduce business. Sure. And then you go to those 3 industrial parks. And you feel the setup is always almost the same. So basically, it's always like 1 or 2 universities, always local with international brands. So it's always like the cross branding, right? Maybe I just make it up. Maybe blah 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 plus Oxford or blah 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 plus whatever, right? Yale or whatever, right? And then basically, so you have a supply of young people. You have a lot of dormitories, right? You have a nice infrastructure. Paved highways, everything looks great, right? And then you ask them, okay, what kind of industry are you looking for? And everybody's looking for automotive. Everybody's looking for aircraft, right? For space industries, for those kind of industries. And then you ask, why you're looking for automotive? Yes, because if I have one automotive factory here, I have maybe 20 suppliers also here, right? So they think always like this, right? So after you have gone to maybe 3 of those industrial parks, you figure out they all copy each other. So basically, they also all limit each other, right? Everybody's fighting for the same piece of cake.
Yeah, that's right. There are, and this is also in development plans, like what kind of industry should be attracted in certain areas. Yeah, they also make plans for that, and every city has this, and in every industry park actually has like
some small variations. Yeah.
They always have like page 1 or something. What's this industry park about? What kind of industry we would like to have here? And yeah. But you're right, yeah. And they need it actually. They want to sell. They want to have you there, yeah. Because it generates taxes. It brings in income. It brings there's labor, job opportunities, and you also, as I said, this cellular land use rights, which we used traditionally was through 2/3 of state income. Yeah? So they're still hot in selling that. Yeah? They're still eager to sell that.
Of course. But this is a market which is going down, right?
Yeah, it's much less than before. Absolutely, yeah.
But going down as in price.
So this is the reason, why it's actually easy to make those agreements. They're eager to sell, yeah.
And then it's also cheaper for the person that will then sign the contract.
Correct, yeah. And you want to come in, so it's happy if they're all eager. So yes.
Maybe in price, but also in demand, I would say.
Right.
I mean, look, we just. And I don't want to go too deep into this topic, but a lot of people talk China, India, right? And personally, I do not believe in India. Let me explain why.
I disagree with you there.
Two
I
reasons.
disagree. Okay, that's it.
Two reasons. One reason is because I hear about India since 40 years, right? And 40 years ago they shoot rockets in the space and they never made it. In 40 years they never made it.
Sure.
Point number two, every industrial country first grows through exports, right?
Sure.
And then once the export is growing, then the domestic market is growing. Jobs are always created out of export. Germany did it, Japan did it, South Korea did it, US did it, every country is like this, right? So in a shrinking global economy, I believe there's not enough space anymore that India can grow through exports because other countries are already so sophisticated that India, by all means, can never become a big export nation like Japan,
it will
South
most
Korea.
likely not be number one.
Yes.
Correct.
For sure there is
Maybe
growth.
There is 100%
But
growth.
they will never be another China, right? And this kind of thing.
No, for sure.
So
I mean, what China
that's what I
has-
mean.
We have, what China
Potential for growth for sure, but never.
But think
another
about it
China.
in this way, and this might just be a bit of a how do you say? What is what I'm looking for? A theory. Anyways, what China has accomplished in the last, say, 70 years, outstanding.
30 years, yeah.
Sure, but look at Shenzhen's
Sure.
70 years ago.
Yeah,
it was
sure.
rice fields,
Yeah.
and now it's
Yeah.
utopia. I mean, it's amazing. And forgive me if I'm wrong.
No.
India didn't have that much time to, how do you say, industrialize and build. Because I believe,
And there I argue with you.
I believe, because why?
Yeah.
The English came and took their land, took their resources.
But this
And
has
use
been
their
such a big advantage. I mean, look, why Shenzhen? Because Shenzhen is close to Hong Kong. Why Hong Kong is important? Because it had British administration, British way of doing things.
Yeah, but the
right?
British left, and the Chinese never lost control of it.
True.
India lost control of its own country
Yeah.
for a while, right? And then once the English left, right, it caused a lot of chaos within its country, right? And now it's only starting to recover and to build, or try to build, what China was doing 70 years ago. You are right.
But the global market is shrinking.
For sure.
That's
For sure.
the biggest problem for India.
sure.
That's what I argue. I don't
Yeah.
doubt the potential of India, right?
Sure.
I just think they are too late. You know, this is
Could be right.
Yeah.
Could be right.
they are 20, 30 years too late.
No, and for why they're late, that can be argued.
Yeah,
for
sure.
which part.
But it's. I mean, I don't try to downplay something, and I don't want to go too deep into this topic.
Yeah.
But it just came up, right? So and,
That's right.
and there's always this competition. Don't do
Sure.
China anymore because now India is coming up and so on.
Well, they said
There
that about
is-
Vietnam as well. at one
Yeah,
point.
there's not enough global demand anymore to take all those products.
And everybody produces the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Everybody makes cars, refrigerators, handphones. Yeah.
Sure. And China, in many aspects, is already so sophisticated
Yeah.
that they become so cheap. Just one example, we just discussed about it in the car, right? Yesterday I saw a Volkswagen, and please don't ask me what it is. I mean, I could check. It's the most ugly car I've ever seen.
Okay.
I swear by God, right? It's a new Volkswagen. So I asked the seller, for how much you sell it? And he told me an astonishing price. I mean, it's a good car inside, but it's just so not Volkswagen. It's so
Outside.
ugly, right? So anyway, he said it's around 150,000 RMB here in China. And I looked at my wife and I thought, wow, I even don't want to buy an electric car anymore because they get only cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Because 150,000 is like 25,000 US, roughly, right?
Okay.
25,000 US.
Okay.
Then I asked him, because he told me it's an import car. So I asked, what is an import car? It's built in Germany? No, it's not built in Germany. It's built in China, but it's for the German market. So actually it is
Sure.
right? So I asked him, what is the price in Germany? And he told me 340,000 RMB.
That's
So
insane.
more than double the price,
Oh.
right?
Isn't that because of tariffs and taxes?
Agree. It's
Yeah.
because of tariffs and tax, yeah. But this also shows if there wouldn't be, and that's the point what I want to say, if Europe wouldn't put tariffs and tax inside, maybe just for the listener, 340,000 is more than 50,000
Sure.
US, right? So if they wouldn't put tariffs and tax inside. Actually, there's so much cheap product in China, they would overload the whole European market.
Yeah.
And then the whole economy would collapse within a couple of months, as the whole German car. And please excuse me, I'm not a car expert, it's just an observation, I know. But I just bring it up as an example that is such an oversupply on product. This is just amazing.
Yeah.
True.
It's killing the world economy. So if now India want to step into this, before they have built up the technologies and the infrastructure, which all cost money, educated the engineers and so on, I mean, they also have to protect their own market.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
But maybe, because we have already discussed quite a
wide range of topics.
Shall we wrap it up maybe?
I think so.
Absolutely, yeah.
Any final words from you?
It's good. It's interesting times, isn't it?
Very much so.
And well, yeah, for the time being, I think we don't have this crystal ball, which would be telling us when the economy is really fully working again. Yeah, because I think in our age we all wait for the good times to come back. Yeah,
because that's what we got used to. Yeah,
Chinese markets opening up again and lots of investment pouring in, and everybody making lots of money, and people working long hours and are inclusive and happy, and this is what we're waiting for. And shops like closing at 2:00 in the morning because private ones, and
but Johannes,
everything is possible, and trees and skyscrapers are growing again to the sky.
I have a question. If one of our listeners wants to talk to you, right? So what do you specialize in? You said it in the very beginning, but maybe just to put it in 2-3 sentences, and how to find you.
Okay, finding me, I think, on the internet, or just dropping me an email.
I will put
wonderful. Absolutely,
link.
That's wonderful because my name and surname are German, so it's very easy, difficult to spell out if you. And we are specializing in foreign direct investment, which is basically corporate law, intellectual property, construction, real estate, food law. And HR, those are the things we are doing. For some time, food law was a pretty good market because people were, before COVID, I think, people had money and wanted to eat well in terms of quality. So much food was imported from Australia, for example, beef, wine,
Big market, true.
It used to be a big market for some time,
Fun fact, my dad opened the first wine cellar in Zhuhai.
Yeah, you see,
and then it's before red wine was such a hype thing.
Yeah.
And then I think he sold it. It was good, and a year later, red wine and wine cellars were everywhere.
I could imagine.
So, have been wild times.
All right.
Bottle of wine for €3,000 plus some ice cubes and so on.
You have to also gamble and down it as well.
10-15 years ago.
3,000 euros.
10-15 years ago in China, in the golf clubs and so on. Sure.
Really, Wow.
But it's not there anymore, I think, because at the moment.
Many people, and many people are doing wine. I have so many actually from our compatriots who are importing wine.
Exactly. But the market is not so strong anymore.
So we are waiting really for the strong markets to return, for confidence to return.
Let's hope. Let's hope for the best.
It was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Thank you.
And I'm already looking forward to our next session.
You will come back. You will come
Wonderful.
back. Definitely.
Perfect.
We will do this more frequently.
Yeah.